Hey, it's Greg, your host for the Project Fit podcast, and I wanted to do a slightly different podcast today because I think there are lots of challenges with people around the ideals that they have, and trying to be the ideal at whatever it is in life. And I guess it's where it's gonna, kind of come into fitness and well-being and health, etc. Is a lot of the world and what I see nowadays is geared towards grabbing your attention, right? And your attention is, it's always you want to be the best, you want to be top of whatever you do, right? And I think something that we need to realize is that we're all at different places. And I think people nowadays are busier than ever. They're fighting for more attention. The world's fighting for more of your attention, i.e., your phone, your internet, your whatever it may be. So one of the big things that I wanted to talk about today really was just understanding what your ideal is, and then what you need to do to kind of stop letting your ideal stop you from actually getting the result you want, right? So a classic one, and I'll talk about it. So I coach, lots of awesome ladies to help them get stronger and fitter and healthier. And the one aspect that I really try and hark back to is about the mindset that goes with the whole thing of training, etc., etc. And it was classic today. It was like I set them a little challenge. So I've been doing this kind of daily challenge with like my VIP ladies, and we're having fun with it. So we're looking at food, we're looking at nutrition, we're looking at our habits and all that kind of stuff. So today was water, and some of them have got, they need to drink a lot of water. And it was interesting to see from an experimental point of view how quickly they all decided to go for, right, I need to hit this. Oh my God, I can't do it. So it was like, someone had to drink 3 liters of water. So what we did was, based on your body weight and stuff, how much you should be drinking. And it was interesting. So to go from kind of drinking almost like maybe a liter or less than a liter a day to 3 liters is a massive jump, right? It's like super crazy jump. And it was interesting to see how instead of actually going for the, a slightly lower figure, and because I didn't explicitly say it as well, it was interesting just to how we always want to be the best. And I kind of take that from our childhood and upbringing, that we always want to be the best. And it's about being the best is also about acceptance, right? And, I was listening to one of my mentors just the other day, kind of thing, someone I worked with in the past and done programs with, and he was saying, and his other half was saying that, everything we do is for acceptance and connection, right? So if you think about what happens in life, right, you grow up as a baby, and then as you get to about 5, 6, 7, you start to realize things have consequences and things are socially acceptable, right? And then you've got your parents going, you need to make sure you're the best at football, sports day, exams, study, etc. So you'll always be being pushed to be the best. And there's that innate thing of wanting to please your parents, right? So you grow up with this, and then you have your teachers. And, my teachers always were the classic, Greg can always do better, right? It was always the one that they got me on. It was always like, yeah, Greg has so much ability, but he could do better. Yeah, and I tried to live up to that. Even my mum, love her to bits. I think she wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer because society places such great emphasis on those careers. And don't get me wrong, they're awesome careers, but is that really you? And I guess the same comes to nutrition, exercise, health, well-being, mindset, is that classic thing of what might be the best might not still be good for you. Okay, so let's just take it on a little tangent into training, because that's my wheelhouse. So we take into training this classic thing of there's a squat, for example, right? So you can do a body weight squat, you could do a racked kettlebell squat, you can do an overhead kettlebell squat, you can use an overhead dumbbell squat, you could use a barbell, so you could do a front squat, you could do a zercher squat, you could do a back squat. Now, the back squat is considered the king of all exercises, right? It's like royalty amongst exercises. If you read any article on training, you'll see kind of deadlift, bench, squat are the kind of principal exercises about getting strong. But if you've got someone who's got, maybe sciatica, disc problems, ankle mobility problems, then actually doing the back squat, although it might seem great, is actually never going to be probably good for them, right? And it doesn't mean they can't get stronger by doing other exercises, but we're so predicated on our mind to, I want a barbell squat because it's that goal to push for more unnecessarily, that sometimes we get sucked into these things that we might not necessarily be good for us or actually aiding us in any way, shape or form. And let's be honest, I've obviously written things that are like, the 10 ways to do this or whatever. But you still have to, and that's the beauty of, I guess, coaching, is that you have to look at the individual and where they're at. And one of the key things I think for me, and when I'm working with people, is, I step back, I'm looking at how they move, what their mindset is, the words that they say. Like, the words that you say will tell you a lot about where someone is in their life and their mindset and their health. But before I'm going to load them with a barbell, I want to know they can goblet squat with decent weight. I want to know that they can maybe do an overhead squat with maybe some light dumbbells. And there are so many ways to skin that cat. Sorry, vegans. That you have to find the optimal route for you. And I really want people to understand that it's the same when it comes to nutrition. Yeah, like there is probably, certain things that we should all be doing in terms of our nutrition, but that might not fit person X, because actually for person A, tomatoes are awesome, but for person X, actually, it actually irritates their gut. So actually, which is the healthiest? Training styles, people will talk about, well, HIIT's awesome, etc. But if you're a stressed out businessman, you're running a business, you're managing people, you're leading people, you're trying to prep and stuff. There's a lot of stress. That's a whole load of stress coming down on your mind. And to then add another modality of training, which is really stressful, as HIIT can be, is that the best for your well-being and your health? Probably not. I'd rather you went out for a walk, potentially. So I think we need to just stop for a minute and really work on that whole comparison mindset. Like, I see, I often see it with my clients, and it's this thing of, well, oh my God, someone's done really well. And it's hard because as a coach and stuff, I have to show, the results that I get with clients. But people will often look at, within the same group and say, oh my God, they've done this. But you also you don't understand what that person is, their lifestyle is like, what responsibilities they've got. Have they got children? Have they got small children? Have they got ill children? Have they got children that are just children, right? Have they got assistants at home to do stuff? Do they work a shorter day? You don't know that. And often that's why we need to kind of just bring it back and actually just understand what is our ideal, not what is the ideal. And I think if I'm really just want to bang home the message that your success in anything you do is going to come down to working on your ideals and where you fit and what fits you as a person, and in that moment of time, like, where do you need to move? I'll take you back to when I used to work for Carphone Warehouse. So I used to be a manager, a customer service manager. I used to run 6 departments across 2 sites. It was a bit crazy. But one of the thing was I had to be very clear and understand which of my team. So I had, managers underneath me, which of my managers was stronger or needed to develop in certain areas. And I think we can't use that one fits all one size fits all. I can't get my words out approach to anything when it comes to training, etc. Because I will have to look at my managers and go, right, which of my managers can either A, handle it or need it for their development, or B, no, that's just taken away from what they're probably good at, or it's just not in the plan, or how it's not going to work. So I often had to look at multiple people and understand where they're at and how that was going to work for them as an individual, and whether that's going to impact their performance or enhance it. So, and you'll see it. It's like in my group programs, you'll see people be like, "Oh, I want to do what she can do." Well, actually, that's awesome, and it's very aspirational. Like, okay, I'll be honest. I want to be able to smash things like Hulk. I want to, jump up like Black Panther. I want to have witty one-liners like Iron Man. I want to marry Black Widow. As if I was probably Valkyrie too, but I know that I can't do all of those things. So I have to just work on the things that I can do. So, okay, if I want to be as agile as Black Panther, right, well, then I need to start working on my mobility. I need to do maybe some daily flows, some daily animal flow, etc. Will I be a ninja? Probably not at this moment in time. I could be if I wanted to, but is it right for me and what it needs to be for me? So I think that's the really big thing, that if you're going to work with someone, they need to be able to look at you as an individual, understand your situation, and help you interpret that your situation to what is going to work for you from a health, exercise, nutrition, sort of thing. It's that classic of, well, and often I've said before, people need to track the calories, but actually that can be really tough for some people. So, I'll give them something else to do. So, maybe they'll palm size or whatever, or give them some rules, because that means I haven't got as much stress. But I know that as you move down a continuum of, if you're trying to lose weight, then actually tracking your food is going to be especially beneficial. So it's understanding where you're at that moment in time, and actually just being okay with the mindset that you're never going to be the ideal. And I think if you go into things with that much more of a clearer mindset, then it will make things much easier for you in terms of success, right? Because if you think about it, let's be honest, most people struggle with diets because the diet that they plan they go for has an ideal, right? It's an ideal diet plan that's like, right, you must eat this at this time. Da, 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 da. Awesome. It's great for some guy, some girl sitting in a room, chilling out, writing whatever they have to write because that's their day job. But how does that work for, Sandra, who is a director of, I don't know, of channel marketing, right? She's trying to work out, okay, she's got a market for this channel, that channel. She's waiting for reports. She's waiting for profitability. She's trying to see how many, are the web visitors going up? Are they making more sales? By the time she has all her meetings, she ain't got time to go, oh, sugar, I was meant to eat my white rice like 2 hours before my training session to ensure that I am anabolically stimulated to train harder. Like, it's just not going to happen. So for Sandra, I'm going to suggest something a bit easier. I'm going to say, right, well, could you get a 10-minute walk in between train stations? Could you walk to all of your meetings in the future? Don't take the lift or the escalator. Maybe actually 10 minutes of meditation actually is probably better for you than, an hour-long training session. It's one of those things. So, I wanted to just be really clear and just understand that your ideal and the ideals you set yourself can be different. And you need to set your ideals just where you are right now. And then you'll get to the ideal. But for the moment, it's okay not to be perfect, right? You really need to just get that into your mindset. Perfect is like a made-up word. Okay, yeah, very funny. Every word is made up, but it's that word that no one can actually really define. You know, what's the perfect diet? No one still knows, because it doesn't really exist that way. What's the perfect exercise? Well, again, it doesn't happen like that. So I want to be really clear and just understand that your ideal might not be your ideal. And it's about getting some help and advice to look at that, and really sometimes objective, you know, being objective, because you're going to look at it from a subjective point of view. You're going to look at it from the point of view of, oh my God, I should be doing this. And I get that. I really get that. But sometimes you need to decide that actually, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to get to. Okay, my ideal is maybe here, not maybe up there. Okay. So that was the Project Fit podcast, episode number 34, I think. So if you listen to this on iTunes, I'd love you to leave a review or a rating. I'd love some feedback on it. Comment below if any of this resonates with you. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Instagram TV. So I'm going to try and spread this far and wide. So yeah, that's Greg out, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.